Hey everybody, my name's Carlo Libertini and thanks for joining me here today. We're going to be looking at RX8 by the good folks at Izotope. Now, if you've never heard of RX before, it's a restoration repair suite for audio. And if you have used RX, then we're going to kick a lot of tires today and hopefully learn something new. So let's do it together. First, what I want to show you is a little bit about the interface. Usually with every new version, there's a couple of updates here and there. But generally, what we're looking at here is the spectrogram/waveform view. It overlays a waveform. Here, I'm sliding the opacity slider down here in the bottom left. Here's a traditional conventional waveform that we use in audio recording and editing. But here's the spectrogram. And this is the real bonus that RX gives us as audio editors and recording engineers. It allows us to see audio over time, from left to right, right to left. And it also allows us to see the frequency from lows to high. And you can have any combination of both time and frequency. Plus, it gives you amplitude. For example, these brightly colored areas that you're looking at are louder. So you get amplitude, time, and frequency all in one graph. And when you overlay that with the waveform view, well, you're really seeing and experiencing audio in a whole new way that you may have never experienced before. Helps you identify issues and really, understand what we're sonically hearing. Now down here in the bottom left, we've got our transport controls and we've got some zoom functions and instant process, which perhaps I'll show in a minute. When you activate this, any module you have selected here will just instantly be processed when you highlight it in the spectrogram. Again, it's all about workflow and working quickly and maximizing your, how you get things done, because sometimes you got a lot of tracks to record and edit. For example, think about this. In a regular pop session, if you have 100 tracks of audio and it's about 3 to 4 minutes long, well, that's 300 to 400 minutes of audio. And there's bound to be something you need to tweak. And RX is a perfect application for the job every time. Now we've got our selectors here, and we also have some metering at the bottom. We've got some information here, our undo history, and all the way to the right now, we've got our frequency chart and our modules. Now these modules here that we're looking at, these aren't arbitrary. They're really powerfully contoured and created to do exactly what they're titled to do. For example, declick, declip, decrackle, de-ess, de-hum, deplosive, de-reverb, music rebalance, which I'll show you in a little bit, and so on and so forth. And as I mentioned before, every new version of RX that comes out, there's just more powerful modules. They update these and they give you more each time. Now to get started, you can import audio by selecting it and dragging it into RX, or you can go up to traditional, you can go to File and Open, and you can even record into RX8. RX8 handles, I think, up to, it does surround sound, so you can have multiple audio in here, depending on your interface, of course. So let's play some audio here. I brought a male vocalist in. This track needs a little bit of love, and I think this is just a program to help us get that done. Let's take a listen. I'm going to set my playback right here and press play.
And you say you think I can do anything, but I can't, and it's late. Maybe last night was a big mistake, but...
All right, so what I'm hearing already off the bat is some sibilance. I'm going to show you how to target that right now. Now, I'm going to switch to my spectrogram view for a moment and show you that here's the sibilance. Here in the waveform view, it's pretty big. This is the sibilant area. And if you want to play back just that area, please watch your ears. I can play back the audio with the selector box. All right. So we're going to target that. We're going to fix it. Coming back to our spectrogram view, this gives us a lot of information. I'll select my time and frequency tool, and I can select just this area. And you'll see if I scroll it to the right, my sibilance is starting right around, the bulk of it is pretty much where it's mostly brightly lit, somewhere between 3 and 12K. So that's pretty sibilant right there. And you can really see how the spectrogram is aiding you in identifying these frequencies already. So let's go back to our combo view and let's have a little bit of creative fun with this. I'm going to select just this area. Now, if you select an area like this, you're only going to be editing that zone. So keep that in mind. Let's open up Deesser. And here we have our first module I want to show you. Now, de-essing is I mean, there's lots of de-essers out there, but when you're applying de-essing in RX, you're actually targeting just the sibilance and allows you to contour and apply your edits just to that in a more professional way that's super easy to use. For example, here we've got classic and spectral. This is a multi-band de-essing, which again is something you don't get traditionally. Really cool. You've got some presets here. All of these modules include presets to get you started. And I encourage experimenting with the presets because they can also help you learn about how each module works, so you don't get stuck in your own ways. I mean, it's really helpful to explore the presets and maybe learn a different technique once in a while through them. And here is where you can add presets, import, even share, rename, remove, and manage your presets that way. So we're going to select our cutoff frequency from our investigation at about maybe 2500. And this is the threshold where we want to start removing that sibilance. Now also, these modules have a preview button. If I press preview right now, it'll render this, and it won't render it, it won't create a new WAV file, it'll preview it for you in real time. All right, let's take a listen to that.
And you say...
Again, it's already working. If you watch the threshold here. Now, sometimes it is faster to just render it in preview because rendering does give you the full quality of it. There, you can see how the sibilance got notched down.
And you say...
And if that's too much, then you can adjust your threshold a little bit. And there you go.
And you say...
All right. Now, what I like about this is once you get your sibilance where you want it, you can now just apply it to the whole track. You can select everything or just leave it as is and press render. And just as fast as that, the whole track just got de-essed. I don't have to apply any real-time processing at all, as you would conventionally as an insert. It's all happening right here in the editing phase.
And you say...
And you can undo. And you can have fun with that. You can actually tweak it again a little bit and render. See how fast that is?
And you say, you think.
Now we've got some rustling here. There's some wind noise in the microphone. So listen very carefully at the end of this word think.
You think.
Right on the TH.
You think.
There's some wind noise there. Well, guess what? There's a module for that too. Let's close our deesser and open up our DeWind. Yes. Now, what is this module doing? It's going to target just what it has been taught to understand is wind noise. You see, all these modules, they incorporate what's called machine learning. Literally thousands of hours of human beings listening to audio like you and me, and then engineering that into these modules to target these artifacts specifically. So you know when you grab DeWind, it's going to listen for that wind noise. All right, let's try something here. Let's go to a preset. How about light reduction? Okay, I'm just using a preset here. And again, I'm going to render this and take a look. Here, where the rustling was, now it's conformed. It's interpolated it back into something really nice. Take a listen.
You think
There it is. Here's before.
You think.
You can really hear that wind noise. And here's, let me render that again. See that area right here, especially right there? It reconfigured it.
You think.
Oh, it's like it never happened. So what do we do so far? We de-essed, we de-winded. Let's take a listen to this whole thing.
And you say, you think I can do anything but.
Nice. This is a really good emotional performance, and it's nice to keep the integrity of that. And when you use modules like this, and you can surgically fix exactly what it is you want to tweak, then it doesn't take away from the emotional performance. You should end up with a recording that sounds perfect and ready for mixing. You don't have to fix it in the mix anymore because RX is going to help you do all that and give you results that sound more professional and clean every time. Let's have a little bit more fun here. I want to open up a different track because I get a lot of questions about de-reverb. Let's take a listen to this drum track right now. We've got drums. You can hear it's clearly. There's some reverb in there. It's a really nice tight performance. Let's have a little fun. I want to go through some of these most popular modules with you today because there are a lot. And of course, we can't cover everything with the short amount of time we have here. So hopefully you'll be inspired to try this yourself. You can always visit izotope.com and download a demo at any time. And I highly recommend that because there's no better way to really experience software like this than to try it for yourself. Now, I highlighted a certain area of this, and I'm going to open up Reverb. Now, here's something that some of these modules incorporate. It's called the learn function. When you don't have a learn function, it uses more of that machine learning that people have programmed into it. But this learn button allows you to program it yourself. Watch when I choose this. It literally listened to the selected area, and it learned the reverb of that. Now you have tools here to conform its reduction, the reverb in the low, middle, mid-high energy areas, the tail lengths, and even some artifact smoothing. Plus you have an option here to enhance the dry signal. Now I'm going to render this because it doesn't take long. Sometimes I go between previewing and rendering. I actually like to render it a little bit. It's just as fast, and I think it gives you the exact results you're going to get when you render it. Now let's listen to it. It's super tight. Sounds very 70s. So here will be let's play it from a little bit of the reverb and back into the original file. Wow, that's a lot. That's great. And if you want to render the whole thing, just press, oh, actually, you know what? Let's do something. Let's have a little bit of fun here. Let's render just the output only, and let's hear what's being extracted. Sometimes this is really eye-opening. There. Now I'm going to render this whole track, and it doesn't take long. And now the reverb's been extracted. Oh, I rendered the output. I love that. I really love that. Deactivate the output reverb only here before you render, because sometimes you could use a program like RX here for more creative effects, like that would have been. Now I'm just going to choose render here without output render reverb on, and it'll give us the dry drums that we're looking for. Here we go. It sounds so tight. It surprises me every time. Let's have a little fun though. It just thought of something. If I come down to my utilities here you see we've got modules, utilities, and we've got measurements. I'm going to choose plugin. Why don't we put a new reverb on there? This is a new Neoverb by Izotope. Let's have a little fun. I have a preset here, tenor sax. Let's leave it on that. And let's preview this with a new reverb. So what we did is we removed the reverb and we're applying a new one to this. Wow, that's like it was meant to be. Let's try another preset here. Let's go to, let's see, how about uplifting piano chords? And again, it's the process. I want to show you how easy it is to analyze audio using the learn function, which some modules have. Target exactly what it is you want to attenuate. In this case, it was the reverb. Then we render the whole file, removing the reverb. Sounded very cut and dry, very 70s sounding kit, which I liked. Then we simply came down to utility, opened up plugin, and you can add any plugin here you want. Right here under select plugin here in the plugin dialog window, this down arrow will open up your plugins and show you what is available on your computer, any plugin at all that you can then apply to this file here within the RX window itself. Let's do one more because I really love this. 16-note drum plate preview. A creative effect there. Acoustic snare tail. There. Now I'm just having fun. It's really what it's all about. When you're enjoying what you're doing, like I do when I'm audio editing and using a program like RX here, it's sometimes really fun to get carried away because you never stop learning. And that's another advantage to using RX like this, because you may think to yourself, hey, you start thinking out of the box more. Maybe I should try this. Maybe I should try that. And it's really fast, really efficient, and super easy. And again, it allows you to really learn the program while enjoying what you're doing. All right, so let's close this and go on to something new here. New in version 8 is this new guitar denoise plugin. Module. Now, some of these modules are actually a suite of modules. For example, this one allows you to denoise guitar amp, squeaks from like acoustic performance, and attenuate the pick attack. So this is actually 3 mini modules in one suite of modules called the Guitar Denoiser. And it's really easy to use. Now, I love this module because, again, it's not arbitrary. It's designed to listen to amp noise. Now, amp noise is different. We know that. But look very closely. We have a learn function here. Let's take a listen to this quick example. You can really hear the sound of that amp noise really loud, especially on the tail end on this fade out chord. All right, so what we want to do is take a sample of that noise. I'm going to come to the very tail end here and select this range because it gives me a little bit of bite of what that sound is. Now you can see all these bands indicate the harmonic overtones of that noise and the musical performance that are blended here. But we want to target just the noise and leave the melody alone. I'm going to select this band and I'm going to choose Learn right here in the module. There. It's taking in a profile of that amp noise. It does help to find an area, at least a second of amp noise to do that with. If you notice in the front here, it's kind of been gated. It's probably been gated a little bit. And let's go to the beginning, and I want to deactivate the other modules. I want to just work on amp noise. Let's choose Preview. So here's before. That's before. It's a lot of noise there. And here's after, a little bit quieter. There you go. Now it went from noise to a slight hiss. And let's render it all, and you'll see how the noise is going to be extracted without affecting the musical tonality of the guitar performance. Because that noise is a layer. It's a noise layer that's occurring in conjunction with the music. Well, this is going to identify just that noise layer and lift it off for us, leaving the musicality of the guitar performance unaffected. It's a big difference. It's really come down. And I'll tell you a little tip. Here's a little secret for you. Sometimes it's not uncommon to scrub the audio in a couple different ways. Let's say if you denoise it, but there's still a little hum there, well, now you can grab dehum. Often using modules in conjunction with each other is a really smart way to increase your workflow. And I'll tell you why, because coming up to the top here, you have things called module chains. If you open up a module chain, it allows you to custom create a suite of modules that you can apply to any audio at any time. So it's like making your own preset chain of modules. And that's really as easy as just clicking the plus button, selecting the module that you want. In this case, you could do guitar denoise and then something like dehum. And then you can save your preset. Let's say you're working with that artist regularly or that particular amp, and just name it accordingly, and there you go. So creating module chains is a great way of having multiple modules working together at the same time. Again, it's all about workflow. But back to our amp noise here. So what did we do? We just denoise this. Let's listen to the tail end here. Now it just turned into a little hiss there. I noticed that the pick attack here, listen to this part. Very aggressive. Why don't we try to tame the pick noise now? I'm going to activate depick in that same guitar noise module suite of plugins. And let's see, let's have a little fun here. Now the pick attack's pretty quick, so I'm going to bring the pick attack a little faster, sensitivity, and the reduction. I want to bring the reduction to about half. And let's just render this and start from there. That's very aggressive. But it's still musical. Let's take the reduction a little bit lower. And let's try this. That sounds better. Here's before. Really aggressive. And I'll tweak up the reduction a little bit more and render it. Let's render the whole thing. There. Now, why do we want to attenuate the pick? Well, because think about it. When this is further mixed and mastered, those transients are going to be even more aggressive and loud and harder to attenuate when you're in the mix phase. But in the editing phase here with RX, you're really doing it in advance and then making your mix process a lot more creative and easy for you. Let's listen to this whole passage. So we learned the guitar noise profile here with the guitar Denoise. And then we did some depicking, okay? And let's see what it sounds like. See how it's developing. There. So before it was very noisy and the pick was more aggressive. Still sounds good, still sounds like guitar, and it's ready for mixing. That is the new Guitar Denoise module here in RX8. One of my favorites. Let's see. Let's have a little bit more fun. Let's go to Music Rebalance. I'm looking at a stereo mix here. You can tell because we've got a left and right channel. If this is like a surround sound for post-production, because this is also a RX is not only for music, it's for post, for film, documentaries, movies, you name it. Cleans up any audio, as long as it's audio. And a lot of these modules have settings specifically for dialogue or music. So keep that in mind. Again, really resourceful. Now, what Music Rebalance is going to do for us, let me open up the module. There we go, Music Rebalance. This is going to allow us, it's broken up into 4 categories: vocal, bass, percussion, and other. This is going to help you isolate and attenuate these categories of audio within the stereo mix. It's really groundbreaking. Now you got some presets here, and you also have some quality: good, better, and best. I'm going to keep it on good for now because I'm going to be previewing it. And it takes a little while because when you consider what it's doing, it's really remarkable, and it does take time. And the separation here allows you to adjust the articulation between the carving out each particular category. Let's take a listen to this file. All right, so let's have a little fun. I'm going to select this opening range of audio because the vocals in that verse before the chorus was a little quieter. But I can do something now. I can target just the vocals, and I'm going to turn them 4 decibels louder. And let's choose render. So did you notice what happened? The vocals are now louder. So I reached into the stereo mix, and I asked RX8 to detect and increase the vocals and turn them up by 4 dBs. Now, when it blends into the chorus, it should have more continuity with the level of the vocals.
And I was too blind to see. I am too good for you. You are no good for me. No, not anymore.
See? So now the vocals between the chorus and the verse now have more continuity in their amplitude. This is the power of Music Rebalance. Now, of course, I could go in there and I could solo just the vocals. I could go in there and solo the bass, the drums, and anything other would be like guitar, synths, or other maybe horns, violins, orchestral stuff will all be channeled into the other category. Plus, there's a separate button here. If I choose this, it'll actually break it out into 4 new tabs here at the top of my RX window. One tab would have just the vocals isolated as a WAV file, what it finds as bass, percussion, and other. And then you can export those for remixing or re-editing further that way. So it's really resourceful. Now, there's a lot you can do with Music Rebalance. I just wanted to give you a quick insight into this because this is fast becoming one of the most popular modules here in RX. Again, the best way is to find out for yourself. And if you're looking for quality tracks like this one to practice your editing on or mixing, this is from producelikeapro.com, which I'm a content creator for. I love helping out. It's an amazing group, an amazing family of passionate people with awesome tracks for you to download. So visit producelikeapro.com and consider becoming a member today. All right, let's have a little bit more fun now. We're kind of running out of time here. I want to talk about bleed. Sometimes you're going to come across audio where you've got bleed from another microphone, and it's very commonplace. And I thought I'd do this in this presentation because a lot of people talk about denoising, reverb, and rebalancing and dialogue isolate, all great stuff. But bleed could be a real issue because if a singer is singing into a microphone here and they're picking up bleed from an instrument that's far away, there could be some phase discrepancies there. Let's take a listen to this file. Here we've got a female singer. I'll take it from this point right here and listen for the piano bleed.
To tell you,
There's a lot of piano bleed in there. Here, let's take it from here.
but I really have to tell you.
So fortunately, if you look up here, we actually have that piano mic. And in that piano mic, you can also hear a little bit of the female artist. Amazing artist, beautiful song, really cool people. So let's take a listen. How will we begin to debleed this? Well, you need both tracks. Here's the lead track, and this is the bleed track. This is the track we're actually hearing in conjunction over this one. Let's come up to debleed. Let's find that module. Again, you can actually create custom presets for the modules that you want and save them and have them on hand. Now, this debleed module is pretty easy to use. It's saying select the bleed source. Right now, the active track is my vocal track. The bleed source I'm going to select will be my, let's get it, the piano bleed track. And what are we going to do now? We're going to press learn. So it's going to compare and learn the source track with the active track, and it's going to analyze where that audio is living and overlapping, and it's going to help you attenuate and remove the instrument that is bleeding into the singer's microphone. And this is really cool. I want to show you this because this would be a great way to help you, remove potential phase issues and really help bring out the vocalist voice. All right, so here's debleed. Now let's preview this. Here's before. Let's do before.
But I really have to tell you.
And let's preview it now with the debleeding module.
But I really have to tell you.
So you can see how it's reduced it quite a bit. Now I'm gonna increase this a little bit and increase the reduction strength a little bit, and let's preview it again.
But I really have to tell you.
That's not bad.
Oh my dear, I like the way
That's
you
before.
like me, but I really have to
That's before, and here's after.
Oh my dear, I like the way you like me, but I
So it's significantly quieter. Let me highlight this area and let's render this for comparison. And there, you can see right here, the bleed is still there. I didn't go too aggressive, but it's far more quieter. All right, take a listen here.
the way you like me, but I really have to tell you.
That's pretty great. So that's how debleed can help you in your track. So if you come across an issue like this, RX just isn't for cleaning up noises and pops and clicks. It excels at that. There are also modules here for helping you take the bleed out of your microphones and rebalancing your mixes. Maybe even using that to create like karaoke tracks or practice tracks if you're in a jam band. You also have some utilities here for leveling your audio, like creating volume automation, loudness control. You can even insert plugins. I think RX is a lot more than most people realize. Yes, it's all about cleaning up problems, but it can also be about elevating your audio. Maybe helping you not only bring out the best of it, but take it somewhere in a direction that you maybe never thought possible. Doing more with RX is what I'm trying to say. So the best way to find out is obviously for yourself. This is a quick peek into RX. Obviously, we didn't cover everything, but again, the best way is to find out for yourself. So visit izotope.com, download a demo today, and really just have fun. My name's Carlo, and thank you for watching.